Kumusta, kapatid? It's Kuya E with Malusog. Have you ever been told you're too much, too sensitive, too opinionated, too emotional? If you've heard that enough times growing up, you probably learned to quiet down, keep things to yourself, especially if you grew up in a Filipino or Asian household, where respect often meant silence. And over the years, that silence becomes a habit. You start believing that speaking up about anything, whether it's hurt feelings or just a different opinion, is dangerous. That it'll make people see you as dramatic or ungrateful or hard to work with. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you start doing the deep work and unfiltering yourself, those same comments might just come back. People might tell you again, you're too much. And in the right context, that is actually a compliment. That's what we'll be talking about in today's video. Before we get into it, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button, subscribed, and turned on notifications. It really does help this type of content reach more guys who need it. I'm on a mission to help 1,000 guys reclaim their confidence by transforming their body, mind, and soul. At Malusog, we view you as a whole, not as several different pieces disconnected from each other. Every single like and subscribe brings me one step closer to achieving my mission. Thank you so much. So let's get into it. I like to think of it like this. So when we're kids, our mirror, the way we see ourselves, is crystal clear. We laugh loud, cry hard, tell people exactly what we think. We're unfiltered. But then life starts throwing mud. Maybe your parents told you to stop crying, or a teacher said you were disruptive, or an older cousin laughed at something you were proud of. And little by little, mud splatters on the glass. And by the time we're adults, the mirror's so muddy, we can barely see ourselves. In the personal development journey, it's not about adding new pieces to fix yourself. It's about wiping off the mud that was never supposed to be there in the first place. You already had the ability to speak your truth. You just buried it to survive. For me, the biggest change happened at work. Ellis 1.0, I was the model employee. I never rocked the boat. I always said yes, even if I didn't want to. I was afraid to speak up to superiors. I'd keep my head down and get the job done, even if I saw problems coming from a mile away. But as I started working on myself, my health, my habits, my emotional resilience, I realized something. People aren't mind readers. If you don't explicitly ask for what you need, say what you believe, and be honest, nobody will ever really know the real you. And if they don't know the real you, then they can't treat you the way you want to be treated, period. Now, as Ellis 2.0, I make it a point to voice a different opinion if I see a better way. I will respectfully challenge a bad idea. I will explain why I don't want to take on a certain task, and then what I think might work better. The feedback I get now, totally different. I went from nice guy and dependable to excellent communicator, to challenges the status quo, and brings valuable perspective. It wasn't about becoming a different person. It was just about scraping off the mud so people could actually see the real me. So when someone says, you're too much, it's often them reacting to your ability to do something that they can't, or just won't, do themselves, which is express your true thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. And sure, there's a line. If the feedback is, you're hurting my feelings, or you never consider my perspective, or even you make me feel ignored, that's a sign your communication style might need refining. That's a different conversation, probably for a different video. But if the feedback is just, you're too sensitive or you're being dramatic, take a moment and ask yourself, is this about me or about their discomfort with honesty? And when we ask ourselves the right questions, we start finding the right answers. Here's a few more good ones for today. When was the last time you held back something true just to avoid making someone uncomfortable? What would change in your relationships if you believed you were already enough? How much of your personality today is really you and how much is just a survival strategy? If you could speak with the honesty of your 7-year-old self, what would you say right now? And here's my challenge for you. For the next 7 days, catch yourself once a day when you want to hold back. Instead of swallowing it, express it respectfully without sugarcoating. And keep a short log of each time you do this. At the end of the week, see how differently people respond when they finally get to see the real you. One last thing. Unfiltering yourself takes energy. If your body is weighed down, if your mind is foggy, or if you're running on fumes, it's a lot harder to speak your truth. That is why the 5-day Malusog reset isn't just about food. It's about clearing out what's slowing you down so you can show up with focus, with confidence, and with your real voice. So if you're ready to wipe some of that mud off of that mirror, the reset is a great way to do so. And in the 5-day Malusog reset, I walk you through 5 days of intense identity level change. And these 5 days will set you up for success for the rest of your life. And if you finish each day at the advanced, or what I call the Rizal level, you get the opportunity to join the Bayani room, or the hero room. It's a private community of guys who have also completed the reset program just like you. You'll have direct access to me, Kuya E in that group as well, where I will provide exclusive content just for the guys in that group. So start your reset today with the link in the description. Tagalog sign off for today, hindi ka sobra. Sobra lang ang takot nilang marinig ang totoo. Which means, you're not too much. They're just too afraid to hear the truth. That about wraps up this video. I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments. What's one thing you stopped saying because people told you it was too much? Go ahead and drop a comment below. I want to see it and I will reply. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.